How did Brianne Howey nearly miss a once-in-a-lifetime breakthrough role? What is unique about the team behind the scenes? And how is Netflix handling the attack of the Swifties? Hi, I'm Janet. Let's jump right in. Where it all began. The newest show to hit Netflix and create quite the buzz is none other than Ginny and Georgia. And if you love Ginny and Georgia as much as we do, you'll know the show would be nothing without, well, Ginny. Don't call her Virginia and Georgia. So how did Antonia Gentry and Brianne Howey get their roles? Well, Antonia had literally just graduated from Emory University in Atlanta and was swamped with finals when she got the audition call. Antonia has always known that she wanted to be an actress, and the script of Ginny and Georgia really spoke to her. She said in an interview with Collider, "Very rarely do you come across scripts with characters that you can totally relate with. I felt like Ginny was finally that. I thought to myself, wow, this is a really great character. I'm just going to audition for it and see what happens." She submitted a tape, and the next thing she knew, she had the role. She said, "It was like a boon came from the heavens and landed in my lap and everything. Everyone was so amazing. It was really, really incredible." This is Antonia's first lead role, but you may recognize her from small stints on Candy Jar and Raising Dion.
Whatever feels true to you is true to the character. So that was really, really nice to kind of have that kind of creative control over a character that I haven't really had before, especially for my first big role. So super appreciative of them.
What about Georgia? Well, you might recognize Brianne from 90210 or even the 2016 version of The Exorcist. Brianne was actually out of town while the show was casting. When she read about the role, she thought it would be an incredible opportunity, but her team was certain the role would be gone by the time she got back. She said she was pretty disappointed, but when she got home a day later, the producers asked for a self-tape. Brianne leapt at the opportunity, sent in a self-tape on Friday, and by Monday, she was auditioning in person. Not long after, Brianne and Antonia met for their chemistry read. Usually reserved for couples auditioning for parts, chemistry is obviously very important when it comes to a mother-daughter relationship as well. For the creators of the show, it was something they didn't want to manufacture. So the actresses had to connect on a very real level, especially when it comes to the themes.
Coming of age at its heart, that's what the show is all about. It's growing up, your identity, mother-daughter relationship. It's really grounded in the high school experience, so it's also about a lot of emotional and physical firsts.
Brianne told Collider that when she first met Antonia, she gave me the biggest hug. She was the most beautiful, talented, sweet young woman. Aw, melts your heart, doesn't it? Gilmore Girls connection. You've no doubt noticed the similarities of this show to another one, also about a mother and daughter from a while ago. Well, Ginny and Georgia creator Sarah Lampert said, "For me, watching Gilmore Girls, watching Buffy, watching Veronica Mars, with all these smart, funny women who got to be witty while dealing with real issues that women deal with, that was really crucial for me." Brianne also grew up watching Gilmore Girls, and she loved it. But she is sure that audiences will very soon feel that the tone of Ginny and Georgia is a lot more edgy.
This show is just so different, and I think people will really realize that right off the bat. It's dark, it's edgy, it's just modern and really surprising.
So what are the differences and similarities exactly? Well, both shows are set in fictional towns, where everybody knows everybody's business, and there is definitely a sense of community. Lorelai and Georgia fell pregnant in their teens and gave birth at a young age, which leads to the interesting dynamic between mother and daughter. Another common theme is the absent father. And weirdly, both dads show up on a motorcycle at some point. Similarly, while both Rory and Ginny really adore their fathers, their relationships are strained when a romance is rekindled with their mothers. Both girls are fiercely protective of their mothers and want them to be happy and not hurt again. While Lorelai and Rory have a very tight bond and are always honest and open with one another, Ginny and Georgia have more of a strained relationship, with Ginny often blaming her mother for her problems. Georgia is always striving to be closer to Ginny, but her lies and deceit make her untrustworthy, and Ginny can see right through her. Scott Porter, who plays Mayor Paul, recently made a faux pas on Twitter when he tweeted, "Y'all ain't ready for this show or for these two forces of nature," at Brianne_Howey and Antonia Gentry. And no, we're not just like Gilmore Girls. We are so much more. Gilmore Girls fans felt it was a slight at the beloved show, But Scott explains he was misunderstood, and he really just meant we deliver a different kind of storytelling. And yes, the mother-daughter comparisons, of course, are right there. Sarah Lampert even acknowledges the similarities in an episode of Ginny and Georgia, when Georgia says to Ginny, "We're like the Gilmore Girls, but with bigger boobs." Who runs the world? An exciting behind-the-screen fact of the show is that it was created, directed, and produced by an all-female team. The show is produced by Anya Adams, who directed a few episodes of Glow and Blackish. Anya is also biracial and said that the representation of the project drew her to it, because as we all know, representation matters. She said it was a great opportunity to be able to direct a pilot where the lead character looked like she did in high school. Sarah's goal in creating the show was to make it as authentic as possible, while highlighting a variety of women-centric experiences, including mental health, sexual orientation, and self-discovery. In making the show as realistic as possible, Sarah invited Antonia to share her own experiences as growing up biracial to lend authenticity to the character. Antonia said in an interview with Teen Vogue, "I loved the fact that the entire creative team was made of women. I felt so safe on set in ways that you don't really realize, because they just understand. The people that I was around really made it a phenomenal experience." Showrunner Deborah Fisher says,
Ginny and Georgia is a show about women, by women, for everyone.
Another strong female character in the show is without a doubt Maxine Baker, or Max. You will recognize the actress Sarah Waistglass as Frankie Hollingsworth from Degrassi. Sarah says the main thing that drew her to the character of Max was how brave she was and how unafraid she is to speak her mind. She is an unapologetic free spirit who is loud and opinionated, which was an incredible experience for Sarah, who says she felt, "As a woman, I grew up shrinking myself a little bit. So, to be able to take up the room the way that she did stuck with me long after filming." Fun fact, Katie Douglas, who plays Abby, Chelsea Clark, who plays Nora, and Sarah are all from Toronto. They all kind of knew each other before the show and have gotten really close. And according to Sarah, Antonia fits right into their group. She said, when Tony came in, it was exactly like it was on the show. We were all friends, and then we kind of just took her in. Sweet. So Mang, Max, Abby, Nora, and Ginny is alive and well in real life too. Yay! Chelsea also loves the atmosphere on set and everything about being cast on the show, saying it's very focused on female empowerment, female collectiveness, and really helping raise your peers and not being in competition with everyone. But obviously there are a few men on the show, mainly the love interests of Ginny and Georgia. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. If you've turned on your TV recently, you would have definitely seen hottie Felix Mallard's face on your screens. He appeared in Lock and Key and Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist before Ginny and Georgia, playing Marcus, the hot and cold bad boy, and her best friend's brother, who Ginny is crushing on, was a real treat for Felix, saying he has a lot of barriers up because he doesn't really trust the world or himself. As soon as he sees Ginny, he sees this anchor. That's sweet, right? On working with Antonia, Felix gushed that she has a star vibe about her that she carries with her on set. And as for the steamy scene between Ginny and Marcus, well, Felix expected it of his character, who is dealing with many emotions and feeling lost in the world, where Ginny makes him feel safe. Meanwhile, Antonia herself did a double take when she saw the script for the pilot episode. She thought it was very impulsive of Ginny, and not something she herself would have done. And then there's Georgia's ever-complicated love life, and that's putting it lightly. She used to have a bevy of men circling around her, and when she moves to the new town, it's no different. First, there is Ginny's father, Zion, who makes a surprise appearance. Then there's Raymond DeBlack as Joe, the local restaurant owner who is crushing on Georgia. And finally, Mayor Paul, Wellsbury's most eligible bachelor, who, spoiler alert, proposes to Georgia. What does Brianne think of all the men in Georgia's life? In an interview with Heart Radio, she says that Georgia is in love with the idea of Paul. He is the picture-perfect idea of who she thought she would end up with when she was watching rom-coms growing up. While Zion is just a ship passing in the night, and Joe is someone she is just not yet ready for. Sounds seriously complicated. Shake it off. As much as the show is focused on empowering women and making a positive change in society, it might come as a shock to learn that Taylor Swift, a proud feminist herself, accused the show of sexism after they used her name in a joke. The joke was about Taylor's dating life, which she has been publicly scrutinized and shamed for her entire career. Taylor took to social media to hit back, saying, "Hey, Ginny and Georgia, 2010 called and wants its lazy, deeply sexist joke back. How about we stop degrading women by defining this horseshit as funny?" Ouch. What happened? In the finale, Ginny and Georgia get into a fight about Ginny's personal life, something she clearly does not want to share with her mother. Her response? "What do you care? You go through men faster than Taylor Swift." The line caused massive controversy online, which led to Taylor recalling her documentary, Miss Americana, from Netflix. Unfortunately, all of the Swifties seem to be attacking Antonia herself, as well as some hate directed towards Brianne, neither of whom have any control over the scriptwriting, which is very unfair. And we all know how mean internet trolls can be. Fans should be directing their anger towards Netflix as a platform, who, by the way, have said nothing to help or defend their up-and-coming star. Antonia responded on Instagram, but didn't mention Taylor, saying that she fell in love with Ginny Miller because she's a character who dares to be flawed. She makes mistakes, morally, mentally, physically, emotionally, and not just with herself, but with the broken world she lives in. What do you think about Netflix's newest show? Are you a Ginny and Georgia fan? Comment below and tell us what you think.